Oh, hello, and I'm Darius, as some of you may know, and hopefully I'm going to start doing some more videos for Jay's fantastic channel, Facebook group, which I'm putting on live now, is great. You guys are really nice to talk to, really nice vibe in the group, so I just wanted to get that in first. So I went to Jay's yesterday, and you know, lovely as ever, his family welcomed me to his home, and another friend of ours came along, and he said, "Oh, I really want to play Leaving Earth." And I thought, all right, you know, because it was sort of 2-1, and I didn't want to be that guy, but I've seen reviews now. First lesson here: don't watch reviews except this one. No, the reviews were quite accurate. But unfortunately, a lot of reviews haven't sold this game. So I went in thinking, all right, fine. You know, I've heard it's an hour of some gameplay and an hour of mathematics and all these kind of negative reviews I'd seen. I didn't see anything positive, okay? So that's kind of what I want to do, hopefully, to sell it. Now, as said, went in a bit... I thought, oh, going to be an hour of maths. The first thing that happened was, you know, we said, let's just play. You know, the guy that came with us and Jay, the guy who played with us had looked at all the rules. The guy that Jay knew how to play it, so I just went with it. Don't explain it, I'll just play along. I'll be on your team. And we did 2 teams of 2, which was great. I was on Ryan's team. And the first thing that happened was we got our $25 million. And I was like, cool, that's a lot of money. And what are we doing with it? Oh, we can buy plans for a rocket. And I'll go, okay, right, that's 10, right. We've got 15. What do we do now? Well, let's buy one of the rockets for 8. Okay, cool. You know, and because I'd already seen this, oh great, here we go, is the maths, because we've got this budget. And by the way, I didn't like the paper money. I'm still sticking with that. Paper money was awful. Anyway. So we bought a rocket, we bought the plans for the rocket, we bought a rocket. We bought a few other things on that year, I can't remember. The second year we threw a rocket into space and we went, cool, that didn't work, that blew up. Now what? Well, we've got to spend money to buy another one. Oh, cool. Right, stick with me with this, right? Because I'm basically going to tell you how the game went for me and how my feelings changed for the game. I was testing it, what's that doing? So... testing the rocket, you've got 3 cards. We don't know if they're 3 successes. We don't even know if they're 3 fails or if they're a mixture of the 2. We had one blow up. We're like, oh, that's when I thought, oh, that's a shame. Well, we got to test it again, haven't we? Like, you know. But at the same time, we've got to test if humans can live in space. We've got to test the radiation. We've got to test. There was so many different things. Just then, a rocket. Shoot it. Rocket, shoot it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm divulging here. But here's the thing. If I'd have played it cooperative, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. But the competitiveness of... because we had 2 teams, 2 twos. We were trying to race each other. And it absolutely felt like the space race. Now, I had to sit back and go, all right, let's take the maths out of it and look at the theme. Now, the theme was... we're playing with the unknown. And that's what was happening. You know, we just spent money on a rocket, sent it into space, and at first I thought, well, that was exciting. Not. But then we did it again, and we tested it again, and we got it perfect, and we got this rocket that worked. And we're like, right, this will work. No matter what we do with this rocket, it's going to go. So let's test landing. How are we going to get our astronauts back? So we sent up... landing devices and brought it back to Earth and see if without the astronauts. Then we bought our astronauts, put them in. Maybe we shouldn't have tested with them, but there's only one way to find out. We had a bit of a laugh because we sent Neil Armstrong. We sent him up and forgot his food, as you do. Sorry, Neil. But yeah, so there was a few laughs in it, and that's when the game was really changing for me. The first couple of years was just a ball, but then it was starting to click. So after about 5 years, I went, hold on, hang on, there was all these items and stuff, and I said, hang on, we can't actually get to the moon until we do quite a lot of stuff. You know, I thought, well, so once the rockets are done, we can fire it and then just thrust it right, or whichever way direction it was. If you see a map of the play, you know what I mean. You have to kind of go up and then to the side to get to the moon. And I thought, well, that'd be easy, but oh my word, you have to do a lot of research. But it is actually just more of a complex engine builder. It is, but pun excluded. Obviously, we were building engines and rockets, but I mean, it is. The more you buy and the more you test, the better your actions. You know. Anyway, as soon as I realised this is just a really big engine builder, just a more complex engine builder of lots of different variations. With all that in mind, I then went back to the missions that were on hand. Now, we played easy, and I really want to play this on difficult now, because the easy missions were really fun, but it just makes me want to do a bit more. And it was get man into space. Okay, we thought that'd be easy, but actually it wasn't. Not to start with, not with the first play. Get a satellite in orbit. Land on the moon. There was some basic stuff. We didn't touch Mars. There was a Mars criteria that we had to hit, but I thought we weren't ready for that. We didn't have enough years. Again, this is the race. We didn't have time to go to Mars. We needed more time, more funding, but we just didn't have it. So there was really that pressure of space race. And as I said, if I keep going back to the theme, that actually I should have let the theme go and done mechanics next. Now, the only bit of maths, this is the other thing that reviews have put me off at first. The maths isn't that bad. The maths really, it's not any more than just adding up points. So, yeah, it's a real shame that these reviews absolutely put me off the game. Absolutely. And if it wasn't for the fact that it was 2 against 1, I wouldn't have played it. Anyway, so we did our mission of getting man into space, and we got a satellite in orbit, and they got us a couple of points. But where the sort of where the cooperative bit would have made this next bit a bit boring, I'm glad we played competitive, because we had a moment where we went, yeah, we could get to the moon, but Jay might get to Mars first. And it was a case of, if he got to Mars before we got to the moon, if he surveyed Mars before we landed on the moon, just as difficult. In fact, I think the moon was more points than, because the moon was unknown to what was on the surface. Anyway, and that's where the race came in, and that's where we really had to streamline our thing, and it became very thematic. And I saw the potential opened up from there of, holy crap, this game is so thematic, so interesting. The maths was in the right places. It wasn't like, oh, let's sit here for 4 hours and just do maths. It's not that. So, that's my review. I instantly went on the board game trading chat after playing. Wanted to play it again, but it was a long game. Didn't feel it, but we were there for a good 3 hours. I'd have loved to have done it again, but the time was pressing on and it was already late. So I was like, I need it. We need it for the club. The reason why I'd want it for the club is because it's a kind of a small mega game in itself. I mean, you can have 5 factions, and each faction kind of could do with 2, 3, 4 people per faction. And I can just imagine getting 6 tables, 1 in the middle with the map, and then the other 5 tables, 1 per team. Have enough room to work stuff out, have enough room to negotiate what you're going to be doing, what your plans are. And I could just see so much potential in this game. So, yeah, just absolutely love it. Absolutely love that game. Very, very, very thematic. Very, very fun. The mechanics made the theme in the end. The only thing I was put off by was the reviews. The reviews are rubbish. Sorry to say, no, they're not rubbish, but you know what I mean. They're like, yeah, don't put people off with that maths shit, because it's not maths shit. It's very good. So Andrew, I'm gonna look. I've seen some of the comments come up. Andrew's put, "Told you theme is important. It absolutely is. If there's a good mechanic behind it." There was a fantastic mechanic behind Leaving Earth, because there was the engine build. You had to get your research. Otherwise, you couldn't do the actions. But that felt thematic in itself, because we only had X amount of turns and X amount of money. We felt pressure to do things. Now, this is the other thing I forgot to tell you. With that race of going to Mars, and we tested one lot of rockets, we had the designs, we perfected it. We had landing almost perfected. We had one more card. There was a couple of rockets we hadn't tested, but there was a race on, and it was a case of just send it. Just do it, and if it blows up, we'll send another one. That was hilarious, okay? Probably shouldn't have done it, but if we didn't do it, we got very lucky. I must admit, we were so lucky. Pass. Every rocket we sent was enough for us to get us to the moon. And lucky for us, there was nothing bad on the moon, because we also had the fact that we hadn't surveyed the moon. We had no idea what was on the surface. Exactly like they didn't have any idea back in the initial space race. Wow. Just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Jay has put a comment there. That's the other thing I want to suggest with the review. 25 player. So it says is it in the rulebook? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you could have 5 roles per team. You could have one guy doing the maths, one doing like dealing with the money, one guy maybe doing negotiations with the other teams, because you play NASA, the Russians, the French. Like there's different factions you could play, so you could actually have someone that will go and visit the countries and go, look, we've researched how to land this on the moon. If you want this, can we have your research for? Yeah, I can see it being a small mega game. If you guys aren't aware of what mega games are, they're like 80 to 120 odd people all playing at the same time. It's more of an RPG thing as well, in a way. And the fact that this could be potentially a small one of those, amazing. It's something that hopefully we can maybe do at the club. If I can either get a hold of a copy, or if we could ask Jay very nicely to come to the club. It would be wicked to do at all around the board a 25 player game of Leaving Earth. What do you guys think? Let's do it. Mick has thought the comment on time was good. Playing Western Legends today took almost 3 hours, but it just flew by. A great game. Yeah, so your game was abnormally long, Nick. Not sure why. Obviously, a lot of you were learning the game, so we'll let you off on that. But yeah, we were on the other table. Me and Jess were saying, "Oh, they're taking a while." But I guess if you're learning the game, honestly, if you've got 6 people that have played Western Legends and you're playing on the short mode, you'll be done within an hour. Honestly, if you know the best way to get points, it's going to happen. Yeah, Jay's put there. He's just confirmed 5 roles per team. If you could put down what the roles are, that would be amazing. And hopefully people can maybe use this as a forum to say what they'd like to do. I don't know when we would do this potential 25 player game, but I just think it would be amazing. It would be so much fun. We had a laugh, we felt pressure, we felt the emotion of not feeding Neil Armstrong. Can't believe that. How do you send a guy into space and go, did you load the food, or did we buy food? We didn't research how he would eat in space. Surely if he's in space, he doesn't need food, right? Doesn't need to eat. I thought gravity took all that away. No, we were just stupid. So, I haven't got a job at NASA anytime soon. Is there enough to do? Keep busy. Mick, yes, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of things you could. So the roles that, sorry, I've played it once, so bear with me. The roles that we got given, the missions we got given were easy, which in turn were actually quite difficult to do. But if we said, you got to, because there was another planet, was it Venus, Jay? Hopefully you can confirm. There was another planet that we didn't even have a mission for. But we played on easy and they were like really quite tough to do. And if we played the difficult ones, and I read a couple of them, they were like a lot of points, but you had to get to bloody Venus or Mercury or, you know, just stuff that I don't know if that's happened in real life, but they were really hard to do. And I think you would need a team of people to work that stuff out and find out the best way. Yeah, but I think honestly, depending on what the roles are, I mean, so some of the things we were doing, we were working out our money. We had to work out what we could afford. We also had to look at future years of, okay, because you get 25 million a year. And if you don't use that 25 million, it's gone. So if I say, oh, I'll do that for 20 million, the other 5 will just fizzle. So you've got to use it up. But there are things that would cost you 30 or 40 million. And you've got to split that into the years efficiently. So you really do have to have someone that will go, right, this is going to cost. Okay, so there's your one guy. You've got the next guy that needs to be kind of the physicist working out, right, how much thrust do we need for this weight? It's where the maths comes in. That's probably the hardest bit of maths. So we have to say, right, so someone working that out. We need someone probably working out negotiations with the other players, or even just watching what the other people are up to. They could potentially go round to the other tables, just sort of, hi, do you mind if I see what you're up to? They might let you in, they might not. But if they look dodgy, then they're gonna relay that. That could be just a fun little role. There's also the person who might have to deal with what's happening on the board. So it could be, right, we've got our missions up, and then the 5th one could be someone researching. Someone could actually say, right, look, guys, I see what you're saying, we could spend 20 million and do that, but we haven't put enough research in. And you could make sure that particular role is making sure the research is done and making sure that we can actually do the missions that were at hand. I think if you're going to do a 25-player one, we need to play the difficult missions to make the 5 roles worth it. So just catching up with the roles of director, mission planner, rocket engineer, researcher, foreign. I think that's pretty much what I've just said. Director, mission planner, rocket engineer, which is the guy. Yeah. I thought that might be about right. Mick, I'm just reading your comment there. Only thinking of how Chronicles of Crime is supposed to work, where one player is a specialist each, but you had a lot of downtime. Not in this. You can't compare it to Chronicles of Crime. Chronicles of Crime has that too many chefs in the kitchen because of the app. The app, one person has the phone, one person's doing the scanning. Yes, you can pass the phone round. Yeah, but Chronicles of Crime, 1 or 2 play. Well, no, I wouldn't play it 1 player because that wouldn't excite me personally. I'd want 2 max. Me and Jade have played it. That's enough for us. We have played it 4 player. We prefer it 2 player. But Leaving Earth is very different. Very, very different. It's not app driven. It's all on a board. It's all cards. It's all totally different game. So honestly, you cannot compare it to Chronicles of Crime. In terms of that, it's very much a team game. On the flip side, if I didn't, because we were going to do all cooperative, and Ryan said he'd like to play competitive, and I said, well, I don't really want to do it like 3 of us, like 3 players. I said to Ryan, I'll be on his team and I'll play it sort of with him, because if it was a solo game, then surely I could be on his team, and I've seen that you can have 5 players per team. So I said, look, Ryan, I'll just go on with you. And actually, the interaction between us two made the game more than the game did in itself. I think if I was on my own, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much either. So anyway, and also going back to Chronicles of Crime is a fully cooperative game. Leaving Earth is not a cooperative game. You can have the cooperation in one team of players, but you're still against another team of players, or potentially another 4 teams of players. So it's still not a cooperative game. Yes, you can play cooperative, and I don't think it would be as fun. I really don't. I think the competition is racing the other countries to do what you need best. Anyway, let's go back to the comments there. It sounds like teams would work really well. As I said, people have different opinions on games in general. I very much love Chronicles of Crime, but again, 1 or 2 players is enough. I like some cooperative games, but this one just feels right with a team game. And as I said, it feels like a mega game. And mega games are played in teams of people anyway. So check out what a mega game is. I believe Shut Up and Sit Down did a Martian-based one. If you just type in Shut Up and Sit Down mega game, they have it was a Falling Skies or something like that, Fallen from the Skies, and it was all the countries on Earth, which were groups of people, were fighting against this group of aliens that were coming to Earth. Don't know the theme exactly, but it kind of feels like a miniature version of that, except instead of aliens, it's just a space race. It comes with the Mercury expansion and the Outer Planets expansion. Adds another 20 years to play from 50s to the 80s. Yes, I love that idea. That's the other thing I'd like to do, because Jay has got Outer Planets. So again, the team play could be a longer game because of the extra 20 years. Normally you've only got 20 years. If you've got another 20 years, it's going to double the length of the game. But I think it will make it more interesting as well. Yeah, and you're right. At the end of the day, it is a space race, yeah. Very, very fun. Loved it. And I want to play it more. I would play it. I think the replayability, I would play it a lot if I owned it. Next time at Jay's, I think we got to play it regardless. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling on. I just wanted to let you guys know what I thought of the game. Fantastic. It's a real shame that it's not produced here. You have to order it. It's a handmade game. It doesn't look it. Apart from the little wooden cut and pieces, you'd think it would be, they could produce that. I mean, if they don't want to, that's fine. But it's just a shame that it's not more readily available. But yeah, if you get a chance, play it. If you know somebody with a copy, get a game of it as soon as you can. And get a group of you and a couple of people. Oh, just so fun. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and I will see you all very, very soon.